Hey guys.
I should have pissed. Should have
You
pissed
shoulda
before
what?
I hit. Should have pissed before I hit the go button, but now it's going, so we're in.
Take a
If
breath,
I
take a breath.
if
We
I
got
start
30 minutes.
dancing,
Oh my gosh, I'm
all
sorry,
right, go ahead.
Sean. That's
Sorry,
the
didn't
worst.
mean to
Okay.
bring that up.
Um, Welcome to Sadie and Sean Have No Friends. It's the podcast. It's on the YouTube channel, whether you want to watch it or listen to it. You can do all of the things, and that's thanks to our presenting sponsor, Talent Co Real Estate. Um, it's hard to find a house. This market is really weird and it's really overwhelming, and you might have a lot of questions. So you need somebody that you're not like just being churned out. Like they genuinely, Amy and her amazing team, they're going to sit down and they're going to really narrow it down so you get something that you love. And so go to homeandnoco.com. And again, thanks to them, they're our presenting sponsors. They're why we get to do this dream of a job, Sean, if we're being honest.
Woohoo. Well, and
Yeah.
they do good work too. We don't just like to throw out names of businesses. I want to talk about businesses that we actually like, and I've
Yeah.
said it before. But if I'm making the biggest purchase of my life, which for most of us is our house, I want to be pretty comfortable in that situation. I don't want it to be a stuffy environment. And Amy and her team are there for you to make sure that it's an easy process. It should be fun. I mean, you're spending lots and lots and lots and lots of your money. You should have fun doing that. And buying
Yeah.
a house can't always be fun, but they will make it fun for you.
Yeah. So homeandnoco.com for Talent Co Real Estate. What you got for me today, Sean?
This thing says a third of Americans think doing the dishes counts as exercise. Do you think that doing the dishes counts as doing
No,
exercise?
I wish it did. I wish it did, but I don't think it
If
counts as
what
exercise.
happens if you don't have a dishwasher and you have to hand wash all of your dishes? Is that then
I
exercise?
still don't think that, I guess it's a little bit of an exercise, but I don't think that's anything super challenging to the average person where you would say, I don't know. Are you still running?
I have a hurt leg. And so I'm pretty sure we went for a hike this last weekend, and I'm almost 99% sure now I've got to go to the doctor. And I hate doctors. We've talked about that, but I avoid them like the plague. But the back of my knee has been like it was excruciating pain 3 weeks ago when I quit running. And so I quit because of the pain. Now it doesn't hurt as bad, but when we were hiking, like I can feel on the back of my knee something as it bends every time. Something's crunching in there. Something's not
Oh
right. Something's not
no, you got to
attached
go
right.
in.
It,
So
it, it
will
was
you make the
radiating
appointment?
the pain was radiating into my calf, so I convinced myself that I pulled my calf muscle. It's not, it's the back of my knee. And there's lots of tendons and things back there. Something got either really stretched too far or broken or yeah, I'm gonna have to
So
go.
what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna speed walk, become a speed walker, mall
Even speed
walker?
walking
What's the
though,
next level?
like even speed walking, like if I'd like hike or walk for a long distance, my leg is unbearably hurt the next day. And so
Really?
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
do
that's
like
a
cardio with my
bummer.
arms. I'm gonna have to row. I'm gonna get
Yeah, but
a
then your
row
legs are gonna
machine.
be like skinny twigs,
Well, life
right?
goes on. No
Life
one looks
goes
at
on.
no one checks out your legs anyways. People are checking you out. They're checking out your guns. They're checking out your head. They're not
They're
like,
checking out your
ooh,
boobs.
that dude's got nice legs.
You know what I notice more and more? When someone has a really nice butt. I talk about it all the time. I have 0 ass. It's sometimes I'll see myself sideways in a mirror and it's like I disappear because my
You
ass
know you
is.
can work on that.
I know, and I keep thinking I have to do strength training, but I only want to do yoga. That's it, and that burns like 100 calories, and it's I need to do it because I saw a chick a couple days ago. She was wearing these like off-white stretchy pants, and her butt was just, it was great. She walked and it had movement. What does that feel like? I mean, it bounced one cheek and then the other cheek. And I'm like, I've never seen anything. And it was a white lady. That even impressed me more. I
There's
was
this
like,
white lady
holy
that I know.
God.
I don't even know this lady, but somehow she followed me on Instagram and I just follow everybody back. And she was like a normal built woman, and then all of a sudden she was like going to go to do like bodybuilding competitions. And I'm just intrigued by watching the progress, but it changed from bodybuilding to like building the biggest butt you've ever seen. And she went again from normal looking woman to not big butt fat, like big butt muscle, like huge,
So is
huge.
she only making the butt big? That's her
Yeah,
focus.
that it's become her thing now. And she went from when she started following me, I think she was involved in the MMA world. I think she might have been a fighter or something. And that's I used to announce. And so I
Yeah.
think that's how we connected.
Okay.
And she went from probably a normal person amount of followers on Instagram, 1,000 we'll call it, to now she's got probably 30, 40,000 followers on Instagram, and they're
'Cause she
all
has a
due to
giant butt.
she shows it off in these like booty shorts. That's all she does. She shows off her
Yeah.
butt all the time, and it's not even it's not attractive to me at all. As a matter of fact, it's almost a turnoff. But I'm intrigued by it in the sense that like it is huge. It is
I gotta
so
see
big.
her. Can you say
Yeah.
who this
Well, yeah. There's
should
no
we
chance
just
she
say?
watches this. Hold on. Let me tell you what her name is. So
You know what, Sean? Thanks for that. And this is on Instagram.
God, I don't even know how to find it. Uh,
Giant butt lady. Type that in.
no, it's not that. It's she's just like a normal person, but she's just become known for the butt. I
That's
don't know. I'm
amazing.
gonna have to.
I
It's
follow
gonna pop up at some point on here, and then I'll just have to send it to you when it pops up because I don't. It's not popping up, of course, right now when you need it to. So I don't know, but
it just
that's crazy.
amazes. Oh, ooh, I wanted to tell you something because this made me laugh and I actually saved it because I was like, no. I know, Sean, that you have been looking to get back at me for getting that fake psychic on to tell you
Ooh, don't
scary
worry,
things.
I've got my plans.
Okay, well, I got an email. I'm trying to find it like a week ago, and I was like, Sean. And it says something about my oh god, what is that website where you go and you could show your butt and boobies and make money?
Oh,
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
It says, Sadie, your OnlyFans account is blah blah. Like, I don't even know, but I'm like, I had to read it like 5 times, going, wait, what? But I think I have an OnlyFans account that I don't even know about. And now I got to go look her up. Is she hot? Is she giving our name something we can be proud of? Because I'm getting the emails. I also got the emails with Ashley Madison back in the day,
Yeah, those are
you know?
scams, and you click on the links that they send you so that you can go check out the thing, and that's how they steal your credit card information.
I know. I
So
know.
don't click
Oh,
on it.
so well, I'm not gonna click on it. I was just going to log on to OnlyFans and look for myself. What if it's like one of those 800-pound women that eat cake in bed and men get hot over it? That's a thing. There is a kink for everything. It is, it's weird. And then people have OnlyFans and they're like, "I don't take my clothes off. I just talk." And I'm like, "What numbers you bringing in?"
The thing about OnlyFans that doesn't make sense to me, and maybe you can help me understand this a little bit more, is like why do I need to pay $25 to see you naked when there's websites all over if I really need to get off on seeing a woman naked that I can go
I don't
see for free?
know.
So why is
I
it
don't
I mean,
know.
I guess if you know her, like if she's your teacher and you're like, "Man, I've always wanted to see my teacher naked and I have to pay $25 to see my teacher naked," then it sort of clicks in me. I can understand where that comes from because you know them. But if you're like some random bitch you met on the internet and now you're gonna pay
Yeah.
$25 to see her. Why? You don't even know her. Like, what why? You can go see that for free somewhere else.
I don't know. I mean, some people like to try to form that relationship, but I think for a lot of these OnlyFans, I've heard that people follow people and the naked lady will be like, "Oh, I see Steve's on again. Hello, Steve." Ha 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 ha. Ha."
Yeah,
And
and Steve
boobies
thinks he's
jiggle.
gonna get
And
some.
Steve's like, "Burner alert."
I hate to inform you, Steve. It's all just
Steve,
a
she
big
ain't coming
ploy.
home to you.
Yeah.
Her
It's
big
like
sexy
going to
boyfriend's
Hooters.
in the next room
Yeah.
counting your cash.
It's just like going to Hooters. Like she's gonna give you wings and she's gonna flirt with you, and you're gonna leave Hooters thinking that she had a big old crush on you. In reality, nope, she just wanted that $40 tip when you should have actually left $14.
And isn't that funny that that's such like I don't wanna make it a sexist thing, but I think guys are more into that kind of stuff. Like, you don't see any restaurants called Peckers where men walk around with the
They
bulge
were
in their
gonna.
tight shorts. Were they going
They
to? Was it gonna
Hooters
be
was
called
gonna make
Peckers?
no, it was gonna be called Forgot.
Peckers would have been way cooler than whatever you're about to tell me.
Yeah, but I wasn't Peckers. But that's a good idea. You should do it. I bet women would go. Dude, you go to
No,
Vegas
I
and you
don't think
see
they
the
would.
billboards all over for Thunder Down Under and whatever the Chippendales and all of them. Like chicks go.
Can I tell you a Thunder Down Under story that is horrifying?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me sit up. So I went to Thunder Down Under with a big group of gals because that's what you do, I guess, in Vegas. The show was gross. It was just
Do they show their
gyrating.
wieners, by the way?
No, but they wear it's just gross. But anyway, they were
You
like
don't see any
trying
wiener
to,
though. So
no,
I can't move on with
you
this
don't, but
story
their
unless I know.
shirts are off and
I
they're
know
six
that.
packs and they're wearing jeans. That's it. They're wearing jeans
Oh,
or like short Australian shorts.
oh. Huh.
But anyway, let me get to my story. So that's not the point if their wiener comes out, but I'll tell you, Shawn, it does not. But they brought a woman up on stage. This is a sad story, okay? And it's going to show you that I am a nice person, no matter what Shawn says. But they brought a woman on stage and she was wearing white pants. Now, first of all, that is danger for so many reasons. But she was brave. She wore white pants and they brought her up and she peed herself while they were grinding on her. And
How do
then
you
I saw
know?
her in the bathroom because she was in the bathroom and I went in the bathroom to go to the bathroom
Oh.
and she was crying, trying to clean up her pants. And so
How
I
do you
was
know
like,
it
it's
was her pee
okay.
and not the Thunder Down Under from guys' juices?
I don't know. I can't see any of them looking at the crowd of women that we were all there. I mean, it's like geriatrics or like drunk 20-year-olds or like, it's just dumb. But isn't that sad? Like she was so embarrassed. And I'm like, don't worry, no one saw. Go out there and live your life. Have another drink. I've pissed my pants before. Everyone has. That's probably actually
Uh,
not a true statement. Not everyone has, but I have. And there's no shame. And I
are
told her
you
to get
ready
on
for
out.
Are you ready for my Thunder Down Under story?
Did you audition?
No. It's actually not Thunder from Down Under, it's Chippendales. So a couple of my friends who were older than me, because I had a lot of older friends when I was growing up because of bowling. And so I'd go on these bowling trips and we would end up in Las Vegas a lot because Las Vegas is like one of the homes of bowling. And so anyway, my one friend who's a lot older than me, he's in his probably 50s or 60s. He has a lot of money and he would spend a lot of money at the casino. And back then, the Rio wasn't the shithole that it is now. The Rio's a shithole now. But we would stay at the Rio, and this gentleman's name is Kip, and Kip would spend a lot of money, and when you spend a lot of money, you attract the attention of the casino folks. So he became good friends with the guy who ran the Rio. He was like the general manager, and the guy
Oh,
who ran the Rio, by the way, is where the Chippendales was. I don't know if it still is. Last I knew, it still was there. Um, he would tell Kip all the secrets of the Rio and all the things that happened there, and turns out that most of the Chippendales dancers, he said like 95% of them are gay dudes.
oh
Like
yeah. I mean, and
they're not
that's
even into
why.
women. And he's like, dude,
No,
you have to really be careful before you go into the Chippendales locker rooms because a lot of times they'll be doing each other.
no. Oh, see, that's the part of the tour I want to take where I walk by and go, wait, what? And then I walk backward and look in. Is this for
And then
real?
these
I
women
paid $45 to get scammed.
these women are all out there in the crowd getting all horny and thinking that they've got a chance with these
And they're
dudes,
going to
and
their boyfriend.
they're going right
Yeah.
backstage, and they're the other dude that you thought was hot is giving the other dude.
Woo, yeah, Shawn, you're
Yeah.
painting it, but you don't need to. We can all imagine it. But that doesn't shock me at all. Frankly, if we're being honest, I don't even think those are all Australians at the Thunder Down Under. But what's funny is some of them will talk and they're like, "Good day, mate." And I'm like, no, you don't need to pretend to be Australian. Just take your shirt off. That's what we're here for. And but I think women do that stuff not for sexual reasons. I really do. I think that women do that as kind of a bonding, fun, stupid, silly thing. You can laugh and oh
Yeah,
my
right.
God. Men go to places and they legitimately get like,
Oh, I've been with plenty of men at places like that, like a Hooters. I've been with men, and they go into those places thinking that they're gonna. I don't know what they're thinking, but they sure portray the fact that they think that they're gonna get with one of these Hooters waitresses, and I wanna shake them. I don't know, like, maybe I'm not built that way or wired that way as a man, but I never went to Hooters to look at the Hooters, and some people are gonna be like, "Yeah, sure, Sean, your wife listens to this podcast. Say what you gotta say." I
Yeah.
didn't, like, I went to Hooters because either friends were going to Hooters or I was hungry, and it was the place that we ended up going to eat. Like, it just doesn't click to me that you would go into a place like that thinking that you're gonna take your waitress home. But there's dudes that do,
Yeah.
and the tips that they leave there, I've seen it happen firsthand, like, you really think that leaving that 100% tip
Giant tip.
is
Yeah.
gonna do anything for you? Because I promise you it's not.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very, very strange. I think the whole thing and going to Hooters, I like Hooters because I like the food. I love the Hooters food. And I know some people out there are going to be like, that's disgusting, but I don't care. I think it's so good. So when I go to Hooters, it's not to oogle, it's to eat their food.
It
And,
wasn't bad
but
last
yeah,
time I went there. It last
no, I
time I
love
because
it.
the radio station that you and I worked at
It's like,
together was in the parking lot of a Hooters, or the Hooters was in our parking lot, however you wanna put it, and so oftentimes you'd find yourself wandering up the hill of the parking lot into Hooters because
yeah,
it was by far the closest restaurant. It was like our own little work cafe. I I got
with
sucked into the
Hooters.
trap. Yeah, right. I got sucked into the trap early on in my tenure at that building to going to Hooters a lot because there was a gentleman who we've talked about on the podcast named Dirty. And imagine that Dirty
Oh,
liked
okay.
going to Hooters. And so Dirty and I became close friends for a while. And so while Dirty still worked there, we would eat at Hooters a lot. And I even made friends with some of the Hooters girls, like just friends, like because they
That's
worked in the
it.
same complex as us. But then I stayed away from Hooters for years and years and years. And then this gentleman who we've also talked about, he's the guy, if you've listened to many of the episodes, that has spiders. His name is Nate. And Nate came to work with us,
Oh,
and Nate went to
mhm.
Hooters 3 times a day. And you probably
No,
think
he
I'm
didn't.
exaggerating right now. He went to Hooters
Nader
3
tot?
times. Dude, Nate spent all of his time and all of his money at Hooters, and Nate I thought Nate was a normal guy like me too. I thought Nate was just like, "I'm going to Hooters," because Nate liked to drink a lot back in those days, and so it was a place to go get a drink, and it was a place to get lunch, and I thought he was just making friends with the Hooters girls. Then I got to talking to Nate. Nate was one of those guys. He went there because he thought
Nuh-uh.
he had a chance with the Hooters girls.
Stop. Nate? Not that I'm saying Nate like in an awful, gross way. I'm just saying I would never have thought that. He's such a sweet guy.
He
And
thought
he's
he had
trying
a
to go
chance.
pick up a chick.
He thought he had a chance with the Hooters girls.
Well, he was on
And
the radio. And oddly enough, there are some chicks that think that's like a
not
big
the
deal.
Hooters girls. Not the
But
Hooters
not
girls.
the Hooters girls. They've seen they're like, no, they if they're gonna tie some. See, I'm getting flustered because I can't believe Nate is a Hooter believer because I would have never guessed that. But if these Hooter chicks are going to go home with anyone, it's going to be someone with a big boat and a maybe a plane, maybe a Lamborghini. They're not going to go to the dude that walked up the hill from the radio station. You know what I mean? Like that's the world. It's okay though.
One time,
I
Nate and
want
I got invited to they used to do a Hooters bikini beauty
yeah.
contest, and, well, I hosted it probably 3 or 4 times, but one of the times it was with Nate, and one of them and it was Nate's fault. One of the most embarrassing moments of my career happened because at the very end, you're like Steve Harvey, and you have to announce the winners, and you go, like, 2nd runner up, 3rd place first, and then you go 2nd place, and then you go 1st place, and so I was more of the talker. Nate was more of the helper. Nate was getting the names from the judges and he wrote them down in the wrong order. And so I go up on stage because Nate handed me the card and I say first place first, but I called them the 3rd runner up. And then 2nd place was 2nd place because luckily it just a lie. And then the person who was supposed to be 3rd place got announced by me as the winner. And the lady who's in charge is like running on stage, like, no, 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 no. And so I have to go out and I have to figure out, and it looks bad on me. No one knows that Nate wrote it down wrong. They think I'm the idiot that read it wrong. So I have to go out to the crowd. I have to take the flowers and the sash away from one half naked chick
No.
and give them to the other chick. And it was a mess. It was a
Well, this
mess.
happened. Do you remember when Steve Harvey called the wrong lady on Miss America and
Yeah.
she came up and like, got her stuff, and then he was like, "I'm sorry, but you are not Miss America," and she had to take the crown off.
It was
Like,
the same
that would be
same thing.
awful.
Except
Well, it
for
would
the
be
only difference in this situation is those girls are in like ball gowns and they look presentable for their mamas. These girls are in this skimpiest little thing that it's a strap that covers their nipple and a thong. And now
how did you get
I,
Shannon to agree to this nonsense?
I don't. It was bad news. I mean, she was not a. Most of the time when I hosted it, we weren't together. We weren't together, and so I just
Yeah.
did my own thing. And then the actually that one year, that last year I did it was the year that it got messed up. We were together, and I was like, well, I've hosted this the last 3 years. It's kind of just like part of my gig now, so I got to do it a fourth year, and I did it. And she came, and it was not good, and she
It
wasn't
was awkward because
comfortable.
you can't
So
make,
now
like,
I
the jokes. Yeah.
well, I did anyway, and the jokes weren't good, and so
Did you get in
I've
a fight?
apologized. I've apologized. Oh yeah, it was not good. I've apologized to Shannon many times face to face, but I can publicly apologize on this podcast now. So I'm sorry for hosting the Hooters contest. A married man should not have done that.
Well, you weren't married at the time, so and you learned. I mean, you never went back, right? That's why you
No,
never went
never
back
hosted
because you were
again.
like,
Of
"This is the
course, that's
worst
why I never went
experience,"
back. And not because I messed up the whole announcing the winners and
just
yeah,
because of
that's
your wife,
yeah,
'cause of
yeah.
Shannon?
They would have
Okay.
definitely had me back after screwing the whole thing up.
I tell you what, if Ryan were an announcer and he got a job at Hooters announcing and they offered me free food while he did it, I'd be like, "Honey, you judge your heart out. I'm gonna eat this popcorn shrimp."
That's the here's the other problem that happens in those sorts of situations though too is these girls are I shouldn't say trained because I don't know what their training looks like, but I feel like somebody has told them or at least encouraged them to be flirty because that's how you get more tips, right? When you make Nader Tot believe that he has a chance with you, Nader Tot's going to leave a bigger tip than if you're a complete bitch to Nader Tot. And so
Yeah.
they have this built-in aura about them that they have to flirt with dudes
They're like,
because
"Yes, I am into you.
right.
I'll
And
be
so
back with your raspberry tea."
even though I'm giving them nothing, I'm actually getting paid to host this whole thing. I'm a dude and I'm on stage and I'm saying shit to them. And so they feel like they have to be flirty with me. And so then that's
Oh,
when
okay.
you might be over there. You might have agreed to let Ryan do this whole thing and you're eating your 15,000 wings that they gave you and you're enjoying yourself and you look
I have a
up
bib
and
on.
Hooters girl
You
is like,
doing?
Ryan, I like you, baby. You might throw down your wings and go throw down a
I
Hooters
don't think
chick
I
at
would.
that point.
I'm first of all, no, I don't think I would. I would laugh. I would laugh at his uncomfortableness, which probably makes me sound bad, but he is a very shy person about stuff like that. We went when we were in Vegas a few years ago to Spearmint Rhino, which is a strip club. And I bought him a lap dance just for fun because we were there with friends. And it was so funny because he just sat he was like, wouldn't move, and this lady's like grinding on him, and I was like, "Ah!" And then we left quickly after because it was like one drink was $37, and
Yeah.
I'm like, we did what we wanted to do here. Let's get back in the car. And but he would be very upset, like embarrassed if some Hooters lady put her boobies, and I'd be like, take it in.
Yeah, I see.
That
I'm
weird?
similar to Ryan in that I have to and I've explained myself as an introverted extrovert before, but I have to like put on the extroverted stuff when I'm on stage or like part of an event and I can do it, but inside I'm also freaking out. Like get them things off me.
Yeah.
Get away from me. I don't like this. Plus my wife is over here and it's disrespectful. Like the whole thing just is not good for me either. Honestly, I don't like it. And so that was the end of my Hooter bikini
That was
contest
it.
days. Yeah.
All right.
And
Well,
I can also be honest with you and tell you I don't miss it. Like I
here's
do
my
remember the
question.
guy that just got married. Sorry, go ahead and ask your question.
No, tell us about Drewby.
The guy who just got married, Whacker, who we talk about on this podcast quite a bit, Drew. The guy that got caught beating off on the roof of the radio station. He
I
used to
feel like
be
we
my
talk about it every episode, and
yeah.
he's probably
Well,
like, "Come on."
he does listen to. He was quoting episodes at his wedding. Anyway, he was like my little helper back in the day, and he would follow me around anywhere. And so he loved the fact that I host these Hooters bikini contests because not
You got
only
to
did
go,
he get a front row seat, we got to go. We would go backstage where the girls are getting ready, and
like,
like
by the
because
dumpsters.
no, they would get ready inside the radio station because there was nowhere else to get ready. And so Drew would be like, "Oh, forgot my hat. Oh, forgot my sunglasses. We need to go back in." Because
Oh,
if you were looking close
Drew.
enough, you could probably see a slip here and there because they're in there literally getting ready.
So
And so
he would
Drew
just
would
go and
he
try to
would
see the
light up.
slip?
Oh, he would be so excited to walk through because they would just get ready in the hallway. And so we'd
Yeah,
walk through the
they probably live
hallway and be
there.
like, excuse us, we work here. We're gonna go up to the radio station. We've got radio stations to run." In reality, Drew's just walking through to look.
That's insane. That's so funny. That sounds like something Drew would do. Maybe not now though, because like you said, he just got married, so maybe
Yeah.
he's tamed his horny ways.
I mean, he hasn't tamed his horny ways. He's
Well,
focused his
he
horny
is
ways.
now.
He's
Now
focused his horny ways on one woman. They're in the
he
honeymoon phase. I bet they're fucking right now.
Isn't that funny? Day sex is just not even a thing. Like, it's just not a thing for 92% of people. There's that 8% where it's like they're both freaks, the man and the woman, but no. My question to you though, Shawn, is do you think that Hooters is going to how much longer do you think Hooters is going to be around? Do you think it's something that's iconic and will last forever? Or do you think eventually it will get Me Too'd? I'm shocked it hasn't been Me Too'd where people are like, you're making these girls wear booty shorts and, and so at what point are they going to be like, we're not going to do it anymore?
It's so weird to me that like no one's ever gotten mad that there's no dude. How has no one ever gotten
Because
like
I don't think women
that
look for that stuff.
there's no dude waiters there. Like that's if there was a place where it was only dude waiters and chicks couldn't be the waitresses, it'd be shut down right now because some chick would be like, "Hey, I want to be a waitress at Peckers."
Oh, that's true. It would be like a
You know what I'm
sexism
saying?
thing where
Right.
it's like,
Yeah,
I want to wear a
sexism,
pecker
right.
outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you know what? I don't know. I
but that
think that
hasn't ever happened. You're right. I'm surprised.
isn't that weird? I just think it's so weird, and that's the only location of Hooters by our work that I kn or our old work. That's the only location that I would know of,
There's
because
other
I think they
locations.
shut
Hooters.
everyone's down, didn't they?
No, I think Hooters are iconic. I think that like they're always every time I went into that Hooters, which is kind of off the beaten path. It's not like in Restaurant Row where there's a whole bunch of like people flock to that Hooters. It was always somewhat busy. I think
It
Hooters
really
just do well.
was.
The thing though
I
about
think
Hooters
Hooters,
is
yeah.
they've tried to expand into other things outside of the restaurant. Like there was a Hooters casino in Vegas, which was a shithole,
Mm.
and you
There was
talked
a
about the
Hooters
Hooters in
hotel.
Mexico. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Like the Hooters resort in Vegas. Didn't you say your parents stayed at the Hooters in Mexico?
Yes, in Mexico and Cancun, and then they
Yeah,
rode
and those
a
were
chicken
shitholes.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but they didn't even care. They were just there to have a good time.
well, I understand that, but I'm just saying like they didn't do a good job of protecting their brand in like building shithole hotels around the world.
But you know what else is an iconic brand that has slowly disappeared? I think, maybe I'm wrong, but, an iconic brand like Playboy, like
Just
Playboy,
play yeah,
it's
does that
kind
even
of gone
exist?
away.
Is
Well,
it
I think that
well, Hugh
what they
Hefner died.
so Hugh Hefner died and his son Cooper Hefner took over the business. And he tried to bring it more, I think, into the digital age where you could go on to but like you could go on to like playboy.com and see. And but I think that people weren't really into it because guess what? Instead of paying playboy.com to see some boobs, you can just type in boobs. You'll get every type of boob there was. Kids, at one time you would be reading a National Enquirer. No, not National Enquirer. What is that other one? National Geographic. And you stumble upon some big old titties and you would be like, what? This is crazy. And now they're just everywhere.
Yeah, it's a different age. Although this kind of goes back to like people going to Hooters for food, and some people are going to roll their eyes and be like, "No one goes to Hooters for the food." But there were Playboy. Like some people read Playboy because the articles were really like sophisticated and they were like really well written. They put in actually like really good articles in Playboy, and a lot of people would read Playboy to read the articles. And so
Yeah.
I bet there's still a market for some of that.
I do. Yeah, there probably is. I think there'll probably always be some sort of market for that, but I got to wonder how much they're not making the money that they made at one time. There was a Playboy airline and there were Playboy clubs everywhere. And there were, I mean, it was everywhere. And
Yeah,
now,
it's
and
just
it was
not
kind
up.
of like I had someone in my family who would buy Hooters, my brother-in-law, not my current brother-in-law, another one, and, he I would always go over to his house and I'd go through his Playboys and be like, "These are insane," and yeah, there were really good articles in there, you know?
There really was. I mean, I don't even remember where I got my Playboys because my dad didn't have them, and so I don't
Remember
remember
when you'd
where
go
I
into
saw them.
can you still go into the gas station and they're on, like, a shelf with plastic? Is that
Yeah,
a
I don't know
thing?
if they still are. I doubt it.
Okay.
I
I'm
remember
gonna
where I
look.
got them. Bowling alley people.
That makes sense.
It's always bowling alley people. That's where I got my Playboys. There was this one guy who used to bring them in to me and my friend Mitchell, who was the same age as me, and he'd be like, "You boys don't fight over this one," and he'd give it to us, and we'd share it.
I
He'd Mitchell
love
take it for
that.
a week, and I'd take it for a week, and we'd have our
The
Playboys.
pages would stick together. Sean would always fight to have it first.
We'd alternate. Yeah. So one week I'd get it first, the next week he'd get it first.
You could clearly see who he enjoyed in the magazine. Let's cut it off there. So classy. Um, and thank our sponsors at Christiana Salon and Spa. They're show sponsors, and we are so grateful to them because they sponsor us so we can do this every day. Talk about these horrific things. These people are amazing. They're in Johnstown, Colorado, right by Shields, and they do everything. So thank you to them. Go in there and tell them Sadie and Sean have no friends for 10% off. And a big thank you also to our presenting sponsor, Talent Co. Real Estate Home and NoCo.com. Sean, I hope you have a good day.
It was fun talking to you today.
It's fun talking to you. Good day to you.